Hello, beautiful friends and book lovers. I hope that you are all doing well. I am so excited to be filming this video today. It is my top favorite video to film all year. If you follow my Instagram, it's at Heather's Book Review if you haven't followed it yet. But recently, this past week, I had asked my lovely friends on there if they would rather see a top 10 or a top 15 favorite books of 2020, and top 10 was the most voted response, so that's what I'm going to be filming today. However, towards the end of the story, towards the end of the video, you can tell I just am on a break from virtually teaching. We're on lunch right now. Towards the end of the video, I am going to do some honorable mentions, which was an idea from one of my lovely friends who you know who you are if you're watching this. So yeah, I'm going to do a couple of the books towards the end that would have made top 10. They were so close, but I could only pick 10. So if you're new to my channel, my name is Heather, and here on Heather's Book Review, I typically will read and review thrillers, mysteries, and the super hyped up fiction novel. But today in my top 10, you're going to see young adult, you're going to see thriller, you're going to see mystery, you're going to see drama, suspense, and just a very nice range of genres. So thanks so much for watching, and I'm so excited. Let's just get started. Okay, so I roughly read about 45 books this year, which is a lot for me. It's been a goal for me to try to manage my personal life and working on top of reading. So that's definitely the most books I've read in a couple of years, which is great now that I've returned to BookTube. But the way that I'm going to do this video today is 10. I'm going to go in order. So 1 is going to be my all-time favorite book of the year, and then I'm going to go ahead and start at 10. But before I get into that, I do have some exciting news. My husband and I are going to welcome our first baby in June of 2021, and we are over the moon. We're so excited. Follow my Instagram if you want to see pregnancy updates and just pictures. But yeah, that is our exciting news to share, and I was so excited to share it with my YouTube community and family as well. So I plan for this video all year. I have just a Word document where I literally will type, I will create the list as I read it, right? And like I'll bump some off or I'll move some up. And I also do the same for my biggest disappointments. So are you guys interested in seeing my top disappointing books of 2020? Or is that just like too savage? Should I not do that? I don't know. If you guys want to watch it, let me know. I'm super happy to film it. But yeah, I wanted to get your opinion on that. Okay, let's just go ahead and get started with the countdown. Okay, so I have 8 physical books here and 2 audiobooks I listened to this year have made my top 10. Number 10 on my top 10 favorite books of 2020 is The Family Upstairs by Lisa Jewell. I was getting a little worried that one of her books would not make my top 10, as she is my favorite author. If you're new to my channel, I love thrillers, and Lisa Jewell has some of the best thrillers that are out there, and I'm excited to say that The Family Upstairs has made my top 10. I find myself thinking about this book all the time, particularly one character from the book, Henry. I constantly am thinking about this book and just like how invested I was when listening to it. Oh, it is a great book. You're on the edge of your seat. Basically, a quick short synopsis is this one girl gets inherited this big house, this manor, and she starts to go into the house and she finds out about the family one of the families that used to live there, and the dark past and the sinister things that were going on, and she kind of gets wrapped up into it, and you're just like, what on earth? Like, who's doing these things? Is it someone from the past that's like coming to haunt her, who wants the house? Like, what is going on? And oh my gosh, you are in for a ride if you have not read this one yet. Also, I do just want to say, in the description box below, I have reviewed all of these books that I'm going to be mentioning today. So I will link the reviews there if for after this video you want to check out my non-spoiler review or my discussion for those of us who have read. Now, let's move on to number 9. I literally feel like I'm filming my version of the Oscars when I film this video, and I think that's why I love it. I don't know. I love watching award shows. Do you guys like watching award shows? Let me know. Coming in at number 9 is My Lovely Wife by Samantha Downing. This is a psychological thriller like no other, and the writing is insane. It's so hard to describe the writing in this book because it's so blunt. And the way that Samantha Downing introduces like intense scenes is just, oh my gosh, it makes your skin crawl. This is one of those books where it's like, you feel like you're constantly turning your head, like looking behind you, like who the heck is the murderer? What is going on? And this is, I will go ahead and say without spoiling, this is unlike any book you will ever read or have read. And once you read it, you're gonna understand what I mean. Unfortunately, I can't do a synopsis for this book because it literally would give it away. Again, once you read it, you'll know what I mean. But this is just like a family dynamic that is unlike no other, and holy smokes, I am so glad that I read this book. Coming in at number 8 is my second and final audiobook that I'm going to mention in this video, and that is His and Hers, which is written by Alice Feeney. Oh my gosh, this is another dark psychological thriller where you are just biting your nails the entire time. In this book, you are following a divorcee as she struggles without being with her daughter and her husband, and she's also a news anchor, well, kind of ish. She works for a news company. When you read it, you'll figure out what I mean. But she starts getting wrapped up in this chain of really freakish murders of people that she knows in this town. And as a reader, you're trying to figure out, like, who's the murderer? Is it her? Is it someone she knows? Like, what is going on? Like, there has to be some sort of connection if she knows all of these people. And oh my goodness, listen to this one on audiobook. Please listen to this. It is so creepy. You get her perspective, her ex-husband's perspective, and the killer's perspective, which is in like, I'm going to totally blank on this, but like when they mask over your voice so you can't tell if it's like a boy or a woman or a man that's speaking. Wow, it's insane, and it's so uber creepy. Number 7 is a bone-chilling thriller, and that is The Whisper Man, written by Alex North. Oddly enough, I feel like I read this last year, but I didn't. I read it in February of 2020, and this book will give you goosebumps. It will leave creepy songs in your head. It will make you not want to turn the lights off when you're about to go to sleep. This is a thriller like no other, and it's also just creepy. It's so creepy. This book gave me all the book anxiety, all the goosebumps, all the speculation of me trying to figure out who the serial killer was. But basically the synopsis is you have a man, a single father, and his son who move into this really creepy old house, and there's some insane stuff that starts to go on. Like his son is talking to people that the man can't see, and oh my gosh, I like want to reread this one. That's how freaking good this book is. Coming in at number 6, I am taking a break from thrillers, and The 7 Husbands of Evelyn, Hugo, written by Taylor Jenkins Reid, is taking the number 6 spot. This is what I would categorize as a drama, a dramatic, suspenseful book. Not anywhere like a thriller suspense though. It's just more like you're watching almost like a really good soap opera unfold. I don't know. I have a review on this one. I'm probably butchering it right now. But basically, Evelyn Hugo is like someone like Marilyn Monroe, who you're basically following her life and her 7 marriages. And oh, this book is just so good. I'm sure you guys have seen this everywhere. I saw it all over Bookstagram, and that's what made me pick it up. I read this book in like 2 days. Once you get past page like 80, there is no putting it down. It is just that good. And it's a very heartwarming and emotional read. Coming in at number 5 is my only young adult book that I'm going to mention in this video along with a fantasy. I want to put the whole series here, but if I had to pick a book from the A Court of Thorns and Roses series, it is the 3rd installment, which is A Court of Wings and Ruin, written by Sarah J. Maas. This series is amazing. I've recently started to review this entire series here on my channel if you're interested, but I vowed to myself that I was going to take a break from my thrillers and my mysteries and my dramas, and I was gonna pick up a fantasy. I wanted to be invested in the world building and the new characters, and this series has done just that for me. I 10 out of 10 recommend picking this up. I know a lot of you have read it. I'm a little late to the game on here. Oh my gosh, this baby, like every time I talk now, ever since I've been pregnant, I get so out of breath. But I'm also like so excited filming this, and I'm also trying to talk really long, so this isn't like, or talk really quickly, so this isn't like a 35-minute long video. Anyways, read the series. A Court of Thorns and Roses is the first book. It's freaking amazing and definitely deserves this spot on my list. This next book, number 4, got snubbed for the Goodreads Choice Awards in not one category, but 2. And I'm probably not the first video that you're watching on this, but the Goodreads Choice Awards, yes, some of the books are deserving. Sure, why not? But I was just not happy with the results in general, and I definitely feel like My Dark Vanessa deserved to win. It was nominated for a debut novel along with something else, maybe like the general fiction category. I don't know. Again, I'm not shaming the books that did win. It's just this book is so freaking good. My Dark Vanessa is a dramatic, suspenseful, realistic fiction novel that is an emotional and tough read to read. This is about a girl who goes off to boarding school and ends up getting groomed by one of her professors. And this follows the story. It goes from her past and her present tense of basically how this child abuse affected her when she was younger, and all the way until I think she's in her either late 20s or early 30s in the present tense parts of this book. You guys, you will need all the tissues if you choose to read this book. It is such an emotional read, and you feel for this character in this book so much. So My Dark Vanessa, written by Kate Elizabeth Russell. This was Kate's debut novel, and holy smokes, pick this up if you haven't read it yet. The writing is outstanding, and it makes you feel all the feels. We're down to the final 3, and I'm going to be quite honest with you guys. These are all like neck and neck for me. It's like, like they're so close. It was so hard for me to pick which book was going to get the 3rd, 2nd, and 1st, because they're all so good, and they're all so good for different reasons. And please just read all 3 of these books that I'm going to listen to, especially if you like thrillers, because yes, of course, they're all thrillers. Coming in at number 3, probably the most insane, intense, psychological thriller I have ever read in my entire life, and probably the quickest book I have ever read in my entire life, and that would be Verity by Colleen Hoover. I know this was on a lot of top 2019 videos last year, but I wasn't on BookTube last year. My first video when I came back was my top 10 of 2019, but I saw this on so many videos and I was like, okay, I have to get it, and holy, oh my God, it's insane. So you are following a main character named Lowen, who is taking over the writing of a very famous author called Verity. So Verity is unable to write her books at this time, and I don't want to spoil why, but essentially Lowen goes to her house so she can get a feel of all of her writing there, and oh my gosh, this book will have you checking your closets. This book will have you wanting to throw up because there are some very graphic scenes in this book. This book will... okay, let me put it this way. A ton of people have read this, right? I have not met one person who has disliked this book after reading it. Honestly, I'm sure I've seen some 4-star reviews, but like none come to mind. All that comes to mind is 5-star reviews for this book. It is insane. The book that is going to get my number 2 slot is a thriller, but it also gives me like Nancy Drew adult mystery vibes. And some have also categorized it as like very slight horror. which I could see, and that is Riley Sager's Home Before Dark. This book makes you feel like you're an adult Nancy Drew. If you're new to my channel, I freaking love Nancy Drew. Grew up playing those video games or computer games. Grew up reading the books. Sorry, I'm out of breath again. This is a haunting story that gets ya from the very beginning, and that's because the setting is a haunted mansion. Who does not want to read a book that is a haunted mansion? This haunted mansion is filled with sinister secrets, an evil past, and ooh, it's so good. It was such a fun read. This was the June 2020 book of the month, but I recommended to a lot of my friends who didn't read this like right when it came out, just wait until it's like October and you want to get like cozy and have like all of your, jack-o'-lanterns lit and be a little spooked, because this is definitely the book for that time. This follows a main character whose father wrote about a haunted mansion that she is now experiencing as an adult. So you get that past, present from his horror story novel that he writes about the house, and then the present of her actually experiencing it. Is it super haunted? Is it actually haunted? Was it all lies? What the heck is going on? And oh my gosh, you guys, it's so good. Pick it up. It's so good. And my top book for 2020 is a suspenseful thriller that has such fluent writing. You're hooked from the first freaking page. I'm not even kidding. It's so good. Oh my gosh, I just remember being like my jaw dropping with this book and being like, okay, now that is some fabulous and relatable writing. And that is Little Secrets by Jennifer Hillier. This is my favorite book of hers. The writing in this, she really has outdone herself with this book, you guys. You are sitting there like flipping through these pages, like, oh my gosh, what is gonna go on? What is happening? You follow a main character whose son was abducted. Not a spoiler, literally happens in the first like 10 pages of the book. And she's trying to find her son. And her husband is also cheating on her. Sorry, I looked at my notes to be like, wait, was that a spoiler? No, it's not. Her husband's also cheating on her. He is having an affair. And you read the point of views from our main character and the girl that he's having an affair with. And you're like trying to solve this abduction. Like, who the heck took her kid? Oh my God, you guys, you will read this book in like 2 days tops. It is so good. It is so addicting. And the reason that this wins my top book is because this is the definition of a true thriller, okay? I feel like you have different spins on thrillers, right? You have like a domestic thriller. You have a psychological thriller. This book just encompasses what a thriller should be and what a thriller is. It gives you the suspense. It gives you the tools to work with to try to solve what the heck is going on. And it also introduces you to characters that like you love on one end and then the other character you hate, and you're like fighting and it's just like it has everything that a good book needs. And I stand by this choice. If you have not read this book yet, you need to, because it's freaking amazing. Okay, you guys, so those were my top 10 of 2020 books. And as I promised, I am going to review 4, I think, honorable mentions of books that I just really enjoyed, but I couldn't give them a top 10 spot just because I loved all these other 10 books. So yeah, if you're new to my channel, I would love if you could hit that subscribe button so we can be bookish friends. Follow me on Instagram. I love chatting with you guys there. And I'm going to start chatting about the honorable mentions. I'm going to keep these short and sweet since I just want to give them a quick little shout out. The first book is The Other Misses, written by Mary Kubica. I love her writing. The Good Girl made my top 10 of 2019. It's a fabulous book. This one is just as good. And it's going to become a Netflix movie, which I'm super excited about. This is a psychological thriller, domestic. Yeah, that's basically all you need to know. It's really good. Read it. Second honorable mention is The Lion's Den, written by Catherine St. John. This book is like the perfect summer thriller, dramatic suspense, like real housewives of yacht owners meets like insanely weird things going on a yacht. I don't know. It's really good. It's perfect for like sipping a crisp glass of rosé in the summer and like just diving in to a good suspenseful, catty, dramatic book. And it's really good. She has another book coming out. I'm blanking on the name, but I'm excited to read it. Is Long Bright River. This book is amazing. It's beautifully written. It's a dramatic suspense. I would not categorize it as a thriller. I know some people do. I would not. This book deals with heavy drug use, drug addiction, and how that impacts families. It's very long, and that's the reason it didn't make my top 10 list. It needed to be cut by like 100 pages, but the writing is amazing, and the storyline is pretty good too. So it's about one sister who's a drug addict and the other sister who's a cop, and how their lives are like interwoven, and then there's some like suspenseful stuff that goes on, but it's a really good read. A last honorable mention is a nail-biting psychological thriller that I just really, really enjoyed, and that is The New Husband by DJ Palmer. Again, another domestic thriller, but this one leaves you like, who do I trust? Like, what is going on? Do I have the right suspect in mind? Ooh, here's a curveball. This really just changes my thoughts. So now what? That's basically what this book is. And it's creepy, it's nail biting, it's suspenseful, and it's really good. Okay, guys, so as always, please leave in the comments below. Chat with me. This is my favorite video to make all year. What have been your favorite books of 2020? Let me know in the comments below. Should I read them? Do we have any same opinions or maybe differing opinions on some of the books that I have mentioned in today's video? Like I said, all of the books have been reviewed, so I'm gonna go ahead and link all of those in the description box for you. And yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I cannot wait to see what you guys think of all these picks. You're the best, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye, you guys.